One of the goals of impact analysis is to take all of the decibel data that we collect and turn it into something meaningful for park managers.
When we get back from the field, we usually have around 30 days of continuous MP3 audio, as well as around 700 hours of sound pressure level data. We have this software that we've developed that lets you open up these hourly files and visually inspect them. And here you can see we have a very faint plane and a lot of songbirds going over them.
What we're looking at is three 10-second samples of audio placed end to end, and they're spaced out every 2 minutes. So we're getting a really quick view of what was going on over the course of the day. At the end of this process, I'll be able to determine for every hour how much of that hour was, pristine natural sound and how much had intrusions from human-caused sounds.
In addition to tools for collecting and analyzing data, we also have a variety of noise models that allow us to forecast what noise exposure would be like under a variety of future conditions.
So if you're trying to make a decision about having the least impacts, noise impacts from aircraft flying overhead, you can use this spreadsheet to build different scenarios and try and minimize certain sites that might be more sensitive to noise. And in this case, we have different helicopters and different seaplane proposed tours. By changing the aircraft to a different route, you can see how the percent time audible increased at both of those sites. What we can do is now export some of this information into, say, a mapping software so we can look at what's going on spatially.
When you really care about specific locations and where terrain can affect how the sound spreads, you need to run a simulation that might take a few hours or days to complete. This animation will show the noise footprint from a motorcycle leaving Estes Park, driving up Trail Ridge Road through Rocky Mountain National Park. The colors in this animation show you how loud the noise is, ranging from reds, which would interfere with conversational speech, loud enough that you'd have to be shout to be heard, all the way out to these dark blues, which tell us approximately how far this noise could be heard by a backpacker. There are many times when that noise footprint is more than 16 miles in diameter. When the noise sources are moving, like in a transportation plan or in an overflights plan, your future scenarios might include a range of different vehicles, a range of different traffic levels, and perhaps even alternatives that specify different kinds of routes. We then have this interactive mapping tool that allows us to take all of those sort of noise maps so that we can see what the aggregate noise footprint is once you build up your complete traffic scenario. At Yellowstone National Park, acoustical monitoring has been very important to provide managers with options of how they might be able to transport the same number of people into the park with a lower noise level.
We tried to come up with 10 or 15 different scenarios of what if we let 100 vehicles in this way and we close off this route, or what if we divert all the traffic up here? And we can quickly see how various alternatives can affect the park. It's also great for public meetings or scoping because you can have park managers talking with stakeholders. The public can give input and they can actually see how things change right away.
Any kind of plan that we put together, decisions that we make are done in a public process. We have to adhere to the National Environmental Policy Act, and natural sounds are very much a part of the things that we think about as we're making decisions at Rocky Mountain National Park. Just to be sure that we're protecting them, that we're holding on to that public trust, because the parks belong to everybody.
Having information, having scientific data on natural sounds and what their impact is, and having the standards so we can determine whether or not we're exceeding that is invaluable to a decision maker.
The world is becoming an increasingly noisier place, As a result, we see people actually craving solace and solitude and a place just to get away from it all. The National Park Service is uniquely positioned to continue our leadership role and make a real difference in the future of soundscape protection.